Must be broken. Hi everyone, it's AJ. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to day 11 of my 12 Days of Christmas review series. Yep, day 11. Tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so be sure to catch my final video tomorrow. What will it be? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So today I'm going to be talking about the Polar Express that I just watched. So let's get into this one. Okay, so yeah, the Polar Express. My missus wanted to watch it, so it sort of fell within my 12 Days of Christmas. So there we go. Now this film is based on a children's book that was written by Chris Van Allsburg in 1985, published in 1985. The film itself came out in 2004. For us here in the UK, it came out on December the 10th, in the lead up to Christmas, with a runtime of 1 hour and 40 minutes on the dot, 100-minute long. The film was directed by Robert Zemeckis, who, very famous director. He's worked with Tom Hanks quite a bit. Castaway, Forrest Gump. He directed the Back to the Future films. He's got a very strong pedigree within Hollywood. He's a fantastic director. The film had a budget of $165 million, pretty big, and went on to gross worldwide $314 million. So it would have made a bit of a profit, but it's a staple for a lot of people's Christmas film viewing. The film had a soundtrack by Alan Silvestri, who again has worked with Robert Zemeckis. He's done music for films like, he's done the Back to the Future films, he's done Predator. More recently he's worked within the MCU. He actually done Endgame and a lot of other Marvel films. Now the reason I mention Endgame is because of the some fantastic music within that film. Anyway, so this film stars Tom Hanks. It also stars Tom Hanks, and it stars Tom Hanks, and it stars Tom Hanks. Yes, no, Tom Hanks performed a lot of roles within this film, primarily the conductor of the train, but he did portray loads of other parts within the film. That's the most recognisable character of Tom Hanks within it. Now this film was the first digital motion capture movie ever made, and it shows. No, that's me being pretty damn bad and pretty damn bar humbug about it. No, obviously this film is about 17 years old now. It's a fantastic film. It's a very magical film. It's a fast-paced film. It's always on the move. And it does look lovely, except for the characters now. The animation with the characters within the film has dated somewhat. They do look a bit stiff and plasticky in the face. But, you know, I don't want to focus on the negatives in that because, you know, it's a product of its time. This film was, like I said, it's the first motion capture movie ever made, and it was in the 2006 Guinness Book World of Records for that reason, you know. So I'm knocking something for something where it progressed animation, which has in time since improved considerably, obviously, and that sort of thing happens, but that shouldn't detract from the film, and I don't allow it to detract from the film, because this film is a wonderful Christmas movie. It's inoffensive, it is magical, it's a whole lot of fun, and it leaves you with pulling on your heartstrings. It leaves you with that sort of, you know, it does bring a tear to my eye and this sort of a thing. It's got a powerful ending. You know, the story of the film basically follows this boy. He hasn't got a name in the film, he's just known as Hero Boy. A lot of the characters don't have names, with the exception of like Billy, who's the young boy who comes from sort of like a non-well-to-do household, and he doesn't really experience Christmas. You know, a lot of the characters are pretty much nameless, and it follows this boy, and he goes on this journey on the Polar Express to the North Pole because he doesn't really believe. He stopped believing in Father Christmas this year, and he's given a chance to start believing again. But you are left with that sort of ambiguity as to whether it's a dream or isn't it a dream, this sort of thing, like these sort of films do. And he has to go on this journey and recapture his Christmas spirit, and by the end he gets it. And you know, you got this, so the whole film is set on this train on the journey to the North Pole, with sort of events going on where you know, he's on top of the train, he's in the engine part of the train, there's a ghost that helps him out on the train that he, you know, he has to believe in, and all this sort of stuff. And it's done to wonderful effect. The last third of the film is set in the North Pole, and it looks wonderful. And I remember watching this with my children, because I used to do this thing with the kids. I used to tell them that Santa Claus was always watching you. You know, he had cameras in the light bulbs, and he could see everything every time you was naughty and you was nice and all this sort of thing. And in the lead up to Christmas, you know, when I had several children, which I still have several children, but they're grown up, when they were young, I used to do this thing that you know, I'd go to them, you've lost a present, you've lost a present, and then I'd go, ding, extra present, ding, extra present, to try and get them to behave, right? And this film, when we saw it, just solidified that, because there's that scene when they go into Santa's sort of, you know, into the village and that, and into the depths of it, and they come across that big camera thing in the elf's place, and there's, when a kid's being naughty, it goes and we saw it, and I was going, there you go kids, look, I told you you could see what you're doing, this sort of a thing. So it's wonderful for that reason, and it brings back a lot of memories from me for when my children were young. So for me, this film is really magical. And in itself, this bell, which is Polar Express bell, I actually got this for my daughter one Christmas when she was very little. It came in a red pouch like this, and also it came with a lovely little note from Santa with it as well. And you know, and I got her this after we saw the film, and every year she still asks about it, and I have it out, and you know, and when she's old enough, she'll have it, and hopefully she'll pass it on to her children. So, you know, from now it will sort of stay in her little memory box that she has. And so this film has a lot of memory for me in that sense. So, you know, it's a wonderful film. I really enjoy it. The musical score by Alan Silvestri is just fantastic. This film is just full of heart, full of emotion, and you know, it is a revisit every year, and I do love it. So yeah. So anyway, that was my review, my gushing review for The Polar Express, starring Tom Hanks, directed by Robert Zemeckis, and yeah, it's just a pleasure from beginning to end. And my Christmases with my children when they were young were very special. I made them very special for them. They've got a lot of good memories. You know, I mean, there was even this one occasion when they were really young, and it was snowed and the park was covered in snow, and during the day it was really busy because people were, you know, they were sledging down the hill and this sort of thing. And about 10 o'clock at night, I said, come on kids, get dressed. Because I only lived across the road from the park. I said, come on, get dressed. We went over to the park. We kind of snuck in with the sledge, and we went sledging at 10, 11 o'clock at night. And my daughter must have only been about 3 at the time. And she still remembers it. And you know, it's those sort of memories. You can't buy stuff like that. It's just fantastic. And that's what Christmas is about. And for me, that's what Christmas is about. And these memories of growing up with my children, and things we'd done. When we were over in that park, we there was a massive big bit of tarpaulin left. And me and my oldest son and my daughter got onto it. And my other son, who's the middle of the three, he didn't want to go on. And I sort of called to him. I've gone, come on, come over here, come on. Let me give you a hug before we go down. When he came over, I just grabbed hold of him and he was squealing. And as soon as I've got hold of him on this bit of tarpaulin, I've said to the other two, I'm going, go, 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 go. Started doing that, and down we go. And it's fantastic times, fantastic memories. And, you know, certainly this film brings back a lot of that, and I love it. Anyway, this is AJ. Thank you for watching. Thank you for indulging me in my memories. Yeah, who doesn't love Christmas? This is AJ. If you enjoyed that, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Come back tomorrow to see my final 12 days of Christmas, day 12. Like I said, who knows what it is? I know what it is. You'll know tomorrow. Take care all, and goodbye. See you later. Have a good Christmas.